You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, I have got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Emma seducing her professor and Rick chasing Liz. We've got predictions for Drew and Michael, for Portia and Isaiah, for Emma and Hank, for Marco and Alexis, and for Elizabeth and Rick. And hey, if you're not following us, please reach down, hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. Our very first prediction: Drew's jealousy of Michael consumes him. Spoilers for the week ahead on Monday have Drew hitting an all-time low, and he tells Rick he's going to end this right now. Something sketchy's coming. And Michael's on the phone asking Willow to talk to him in private at the courthouse, and she is excited. She thinks this is what she and Nina have been hoping for. They discuss it, that this could be like a compromise moment. But then on Tuesday, Willow won't budge. We'll see if that's with Drew or with Michael. And then on Wednesday, Carly, Sonny, and Jason are shocked by Michael's news, and Nina is enraged about something. And on Thursday, there's chaos in the courtroom at Michael and Willow's hearing, same day that Rick admits something. So last week, Drew looked so jealous when he saw Michael and Willow, and they were holding their kids and smiling while looking in at new baby Daisy. And you know, Drew is probably all wound up imagining if Willow gets back with Michael and then they had a new baby in their lives, because Daisy would clearly be spending time with them as well as Sasha. Looks like Drew can't stand it. He's going to go to extremes to make sure Willow gets full custody so that he can move her away to DC. He wants her away from Michael. Drew is like Shiloh. He wants to isolate Willow from the family and her loved ones. It's like he's running the cult of Drew. But Michael got solid advice from Sonny about compromise and then seeing Willow deliver his daughter Daisy. I do expect Michael is going to make this shocking move to just do joint custody, put all the nastiness behind them despite Drew's awfulness. So we'll just have to see how low the congressman goes. He's got dirt on Nina, and now Michael's dirt is out. So I don't know. Rick may bring up Willow flying to Germany in court to see him, and Michael rejecting her, which of course would be an absolute surprise to Michael. We all know Drew set that up, but he might frame Michael for it like he framed Tracy for the ketamine. Our second prediction: Portia turns to Isaiah, and there may be groundwork being laid there. So on Tuesday, Isaiah gets a big offer, and on Wednesday, Isaiah can see that something's upsetting Portia. I suspect his offer might be something to do with Sidwell trying to buy his silence like he did Sasha. We'll see. But the Isaiah Portia stuff is something else. We've already seen a couple of weeks ago, Isaiah listened in when things were going really bad for Portia. He knows she's got some big drama happening in her personal life. Isaiah has offered to listen and be there for her. So Portia may turn to Isaiah for comfort because he already knows something heavy is going on with her marriage to Curtis. I doubt Portia would tell Isaiah exactly what happened, why Curtis is mad at her, because Portia was doing unethical things that could get her fired from GH and her medical license yanked. But Isaiah and Portia might be getting closer to set the stage for a possible Isaiah-Portia romance if Curtis dumps his wife. Marshall encouraged Curtis last week to push forward with things, but her husband might be done with her. And of course, Jordan dumped Isaiah, and it looks like Curtis is leaning towards maybe a split, which means Jordan might be back with Curtis. So Isaiah and Portia could be possible in the future. Our third prediction: Emma Scorpio tries to seduce Hank Dalton. So this is based on stuff that happened last week, not a spoiler for the week ahead, but we all saw it, and hopefully there will be some more action on this storyline in the week ahead. It's obvious that Dalton has his eye on Emma, and he's checking her out, and she knows it. So I think she's going to use that to her advantage. Of course, last week Dalton was looking at her in her bikini, and she was making sure to show it off. There's a sizable age gap, and Emma's a student and Dalton is a professor, but it looks like he's doing sketchy science, so he might be sketchy all around, and sleeping with a student might be something he's down for. So maybe Emma tries to get close to seduce him, or at least lead him into thinking she wants to seduce him so she can get access to the info that she can't get since Jocelyn got that job. Hopefully Emma will lead him on and not do the deed, especially since she's getting so close to Gio lately. The poor kid doesn't need any more heartache. But then again, Emma does like to go to extremes, so if she had to bed Hank Dalton to get the info to bust him, I think she would do it. She is Anna's granddaughter after all. Our fourth prediction, Marco uncovers Alexis's dirty blackmail secret. So on Monday, Christina's struck by inspiration, and Thursday spoilers have Alexis trying to hide her panic. Friday spoilers have Alexis being challenged by Tracy and Marco in shock. So Alexis is already on edge because Laura came around to ask about the $10 million missing from Ace's trust. Alexis lied, said she was investing it, and then Marco said he looked at the shell company and it looks bogus. You know, Sidwell is Marco's father, so he knows about criminal activity, even though he only represents his dad's legal stuff. But he's no dummy. He knows what money laundering, fraud, and a scam look like. If Marco keeps pressing, Alexis may crack and admit to the blackmail, especially if Marco wants to talk to Laura about it or keeps pushing. Alexis might even hire Marco as her lawyer so she can talk to him and he can't tell anybody, you know. Plus, Alexis may panic next week if Rick keeps pushing for more money. But, you know, I think Marco might offer to help and not expose her, especially if Alexis explains why she's paying the blackmail. You know, he's got a sister and he understands family drama. I like the guy. Heck, Sidwell's growing on me too. So we'll see. Our fifth and final prediction, Rick swoops in on Elizabeth. So on Monday, Lucky and Lulu say goodbye and Elizabeth is confiding in Lucas, and Thursday spoilers have Rick admitting something. So Lucky's leaving this week after Liz turned down his proposal, and of course Rick's going to be thrilled his rival Lucky is leaving town. Even though he's seeing Ava, it's quite obvious Rick is still carrying a torch for Elizabeth. And I can see Rick running over to see Liz once he knows Lucky has packed out of Port Charles. Rick wanted another chance with Elizabeth before, but she told him no dice, and she was interested in Lucky. But now that Elizabeth and Lucky are done, you know, maybe Liz might consider Rick. She shouldn't, but maybe. And even if she's not going to consider it, Rick still might think this is his big chance. And of course, Ava would be furious if Rick started lurking around and spending time with Elizabeth. But if he thinks he's got a shot, I think Rick would dump Ava. But also, if she thought that Rick was going back to Liz, I could totally see Ava spilling the beans on the Alexis blackmail just to screw him over, or at least threaten Rick that she would do it if he tries to get back with Liz.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.